Yes, good afternoon, everyone. In last lecture, we had started one topic that is structure of tRNA. Just an introduction about its role. As an adapter molecule, it is getting involved in the process of translation, holds the amino acid, at the same time carries the anticodon to complement with the genetic codon on mRNA. Also that previously it was known as sRNA, the soluble RNA. Now it is presently known as transfer RNA, the tRNA. Up to here the things must be clear, am I right? Let's go forward regarding the structure of tRNA. Basically tRNA is a one type of what? Protein, lipid, carbohydrate, nucleic acid. What is that? DNA is a one type of what? Protein, carbohydrate, nucleic acid, lipid. It's a one type of nucleic acid. Polymer of nucleotides, ribonucleotides. Approximately 75 to as many as 90 nucleotides. The chain made up of these many nucleotides. The one which can have three possible structure: primary structure, secondary structure, and then tertiary structure. So it can exist in three formats. As soon as it is prepared from the DNA, it would be in the form of a polynucleotide chain made up of approximately 76 to 90 nucleotides. One end 5 prime, another end 3 prime. The same primary structure, linear nucleotide chain in the form of the tRNA, in the form of linear polynucleotide chain. It will assume secondary structure, the one in which let's say that this is the 5 prime end, another is the 3 prime end, and your chain of nucleotides is assuming such a shape. This secondary structure is very much like a clover leaf. Clover leaf. As if there are three, this is like a linear. First is like a linear structure. Second is appearing like a clover leaf. There are three leaflets. And the tertiary structure, it is almost like inverted L-shaped structure. This is the three-dimensional structure of tRNA. These kind of inverted L-shaped structure it is having. As soon as it is formed, it is in the form of a linear polynucleotide chain with 76 to 90 nucleotides long, one of the end 5 prime, other end 3 prime. It is called primary structure. Then it assumes a secondary structure, which is very much like a clover leaf appearance. Excuse me. It's like a 3 leaflets projecting from the one point. Again, 5 prime, 3 prime ends are there. Then further it assumes tertiary structure and becomes 3-dimensional unit. This is very much like inverted L-shaped appearance. This is the functional form. As and when it will carry the amino acids, it will be in the form of tertiary structure. Always remember this one. So that is about the structure of RNA. See, this will be its most popular to understand its structure. The secondary structure, the clover leaf like structure with its 5 prime and its 3 prime end, as you can make out over here. The same would have been like a linear polynucleotide chain. One end 5 prime, another end 3 prime, and in between so many nucleotides. So from primary to secondary structure. And from this secondary structure, clover leaf like structure, it will assume another possible shape, and this is that almost L, inverted L-shaped structure. This is what is called as tertiary structure. If a clover leaf like structure was 2D model, the inverted L-shaped structure is a 3D model. Tertiary structure is a 3-dimensional model. This one is good to understand its structural properties. This one is the one which is actually its functional form. This is gonna be the functional form of the tRNA, as in when it is transporting the amino acids. Tell me, what is the shape of primary structure of tRNA? Linear structure. How about the secondary structure of the tRNA? Clover leaf, triplet of leaflets. How about the tertiary structure? Inverted L. How many nucleotides altogether in a typical tRNA? The range of number of nucleotides present? 76 to 90. 76 to 90, my mistake. If I had said 75, let me correct. It's 76 to 90. Which form is the functional form out of the 3? And also the 3-dimensional form of it? Tertiary form of it. But for study purpose, to understand its structure, which is the better form? To understand its structure? Exactly. So let us understand its structure. Can you see that if there was supposed to be a linear polynucleotide chain, which ultimately becomes these type of chain, these type of a structure. One is a 5 prime and another one is a 3 prime. And so can you explain how come the given linear chain turn into this secondary structure, clover leaf like structure? How is it possible? I'm giving the hint. Paths highlighted. What must be so special about them? Swati, absolutely wrong. These are not amino acids which are supposed to be having. Astha Gokhale, can you expand what the term complementary you are talking about? Nandini, it is understood bonds are there, they are only they are joining. But what's the speciality of these two parts which are joining with each other? हाँ, आस्था, you are correct. So for example, जैसे इस पार्ट में अगर CCC है और यहाँ की GGG है, तो ये दोनों को यहाँ पे अगर साथ में लाओगे तो इनका कॉम्प्लीमेंटेशन हो जाएगा. Understood? And they will make a bond with each other. So out of those 90 nucleotides which make it up, somewhere some nucleotides in two different regions are so complementary that you bring them together and they will easily make up the hydrogen bonds with each other and turn this portion as the dsRNA, double-stranded RNA, whereas the other portions tend to remain as which one? ssRNA. ये पार्ट ssRNA जैसा रहता है और बाकी का पार्ट turns out to be dsRNA. एक मॉलिक्यूल के अंदर दो different types के parts create होते हैं just because of that complementarity feature which I have explained. Anyone who is not clear about within the intra-RNA complementarity of the nucleotide responsible for making these portions of the tRNA DS double-stranded. Anyone not clear with this concept should raise the finger. Okay, no one is raising the finger. That means the topic is clear. We go to the next part of it. Let me explain the structure in detail. First of all, you can make out this structure of tRNA, the secondary structure like a clover leaf, in which this is the 5 prime end of, and this is all together the chain of those 75 to 76 to 90 nucleotides, and then other is the 3 prime end. So first of all, one of the end is a 5 prime end. That's a thing. It's called 5 prime and terminal. 5 prime and terminal with the phosphate group. Then as you can make out, there are certain loops formed over here. For example, one of them is called as D-arm loop. One of them is called as which one? D loop. यहाँ पे एक स्पेशलाइज्ड न्यूक्लियोटाइड होता है जिसको कहते हैं डाइहाइड्रोयूरेटिन. Unlike the one which is adenine containing typical AMP and UMP and GMP and CMP, out of this four, other than this four, some unusual form of nucleotide, slightly modified nucleotide. Can you give me one example of a modified nucleotide which we have learned so far? कहीं पे एक टिपिकल न्यूक्लियोटाइड को मॉडिफाई करके रखा हो, ऐसा कोई एक एग्जांपल दे सकते हो? तो मुझे पता चला आपको पता है कि मॉडिफिकेशन इन न्यूक्लियोटाइड इज व्हाट. यूकैरियोट एमआरएनए प्रोसेसिंग को याद करके देखो. Do you remember methylated nucleotide? First one, 5 prime end, capping methylation of the guanine containing nucleotide that is inserted at the 5 prime end. That's not a normal nucleotide, it's a methylated nucleotide. It's called modification, alteration. So similarly, uracil containing one nucleotide modified into what is called as dihydrouridine nucleotide, which is a part within this loop, one of the nucleotide within this loop. So it is called as D loop. That's called as D arm. ये आर्म को डी आर्म कहते हैं और उसके इस लूप को डी लूप कहते हैं. सिमिलरली ऑपोजिट साइड पे अगर देखते हैं तो एक टी साई सी लूप है, टी साई सी आर्म है और ये टी साई सी लूप है. टी साई सी लूप क्या है? तो इसमें एक दूसरा मॉडिफाइड यूरासिल कंटेनिंग न्यूक्लियोटाइड जिसको कहते हैं pseudouridine, which is a part of this portion, this loop. So that's why this loop is called as T psi C loop, for that pseudouridines presence. Psi is the term for that pseudouridine nucleotide. Then comes one small loop. As we move from 5' to 3' end of the chain, we come across one small loop at the juncture of anticodon arm and T psi C arm. This loop is identified as variable loop. Which loop? Variable loop. इसकी लेंथ वेरिएबल रहती है इस लूप की. किसी टीआरएनए में शॉर्ट होता है, किसी में ये लॉन्ग होता है. फिर एक इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है जिसको कहते हैं 3' एंड ऑफ इट. अच्छा, 3' एंड के लास्ट टर्मिनल देखो CCA है. CA. So 3' CCA end of this tRNA. This is also identified as an acceptor stem. इसको acceptor stem भी कहते हैं. Question is, why should it be called as an acceptor stem? Whenever tRNA takes the amino acid, it will be attached to not the 5' end of it. It will be attached to which part? 3' end of it. So this is termed as acceptor arm, acceptor stem, yeah, acceptor arm of the amino acid acceptor stem of the tRNA. Then comes the last but most important one. So I have kept it at the later stage, and that is called as anticodon arm and its anticodon loop over here. What is this anticodon? Do you remember the definition of anticodon? I am asking you, do you remember the definition of anticodon? So who will speak about that definition? चलो आप इमेजिन करो. देवांश आप बोलिए. देवांशी आप बोलिए. She is not speaking. Somebody else?
Yes, sir.
हाँ बोलिए आप.
A unit made up of triplet of nucleotide present on tRNA that remain complementary on mRNA for given nucleotide.
एक given codon, given nucleotide and given codon. Correct, but then by and large. So let's say that, let's assume that this is the mRNA on which there is a codon which is made up of UUU. Can you tell me UUU अगर यहाँ पे कोडॉन है तो this tRNA should have brought which amino acid over here? Can you name this amino acid attached to the acceptor stem of this tRNA which is coming before this codon UUU? Come on, I'm asking something. Are you all sleeping or what? Phenylalanine. UUU is the codon for which amino acid? Phenylalanine. So acceptor stem of this tRNA should have a phenylalanine if this tRNA is coming before the codon UUU. But can you tell me the given tRNA which is carrying phenylalanine has to come before the codon UUU? Which anticodon it should have over here in the anticodon loop portion? यहां पे उसके पास कौन सा एंटीकोडॉन होना चाहिए? एग्जैक्टली exactly, उसके पास होगा ए. Now most important part, this tRNA which is carrying phenylalanine must have an anticodon AAA on it. That would be the complementary one to the codon of phenylalanine. ऐसे tRNA को कॉग्नेट tRNA कहते हैं. ऐसे tRNA को क्या कहते हैं? Cognate tRNA. What do you mean by cognate tRNA? The one which will transfer phenylalanine and it will have an anticodon AAA that shall be complementary to the codon of phenylalanine UUU. How many have understood this concept of tRNA? Cognate tRNA. ये tRNA जिसके पास AAA एंटीकोडॉन है वो किसी और अमाइनो एसिड को ट्रांसफर नहीं कर सकता. This is supposed to be the cognate tRNA for phenylalanine if it is having the anticodon AAA on it. How many have understood? How many have not understood? Let us assume that here there was AUG. So which amino acid this one should have been? Methionine. So which anticodon should be present on tRNA? The cognate tRNA, which has to transfer methionine. उसके पास कौन सा एंटीकोडॉन होना चाहिए? Exactly, UAC. Please remember, UAC should be the Tanvi UAG नहीं UAC. तो अगर कोई tRNA है जिसको UAC एंटीकोडॉन मिला है, तो that means it is the cognate tRNA for amino acid methionine. आपको cognate tRNA का कंसेप्ट पता चल रहा है? वो स्पेसिफिक tRNA जिसका एंटीकोडॉन गिवन अमाइनो एसिड के कोडॉन को कॉम्प्लीमेंट करता है, तो वो गिवन अमाइनो एसिड के ट्रांसफर के लिए कॉग्नेट tRNA होता है. Now my question to you is that, point is that majority the okay, forget about majority. Tell me, at least how many different types of tRNAs can be available based on their anticodon differences? Tell me. How many kinds of tRNA molecules are possible based on their anticodon differences? Well, if you are not interested, then I'm wasting your time, it seems. 61, na? Astha, not 64, because 3 are senseless or nonsense codons. So against them, there can be no complementary anticodon, na? So let us say that if there are 61 codons, so to complement them, there must be 61 anticodons. Understood? There has to be how many? 61 anticodons. For those, how many amino acids? 20 amino acids over there. That is the arrangement you have to understand. And please take it for granted that for 61 different tRNA molecules, majority portion is same, excluding which part? Their anticodon portion. किसी में AAA है, किसी में UUU है, किसी में GCC है, किसी में CGG है, या किसी में AUC है. जितने कोडॉन है उनको कॉम्प्लीमेंट करने वाले एंटीकोडॉन 61, तो वो यहाँ पे डिफरेंट डिफरेंट. सो यहाँ पे 61 टाइप्स ऑफ tRNAs are possible. 61 types of tRNAs are possible over there. All are more or less similar, excluding their anticodon portion, जहां पे उनमें variability रहती है. कोई डाउट? एक छोटा सा कंसेप्ट, नीट एग्जाम के लिए interested one should participate, rest of you should sleep for next 5 minutes. Let us assume that this is the anticodon AAA carrying AAA anticodon carrying tRNA. So obviously here the amino acid transported by it must be the phenylalanine, and it must be brought before the mRNA where the codon is UUU. This is supposed to be mRNA. जैसे mRNA लिखते हो पता है चल गया कि ये ट्रिपलेट कोडॉन है, और वो भी स्पेसिफाई किया है UUU, उसके सामने एंटी कोडॉन है AAA. अब आपको पता है कि दो डिफरेंट कोडॉन्स होते हैं फिनाइलएलेनिन के. कौन से दो कोडॉन्स? UUU and UUC, isn't it? हाँ या ना? पता चला आपको? UUU and UUC. तो टेक्निकली अगर देखा जाए तो देयर आर सपोज टू बी टू डिफरेंट tRNA. एक के ऊपर एंटीकोडॉन है AAA, तो दूसरे के ऊपर एंटीकोडॉन क्या होना चाहिए? AAG. So do you realize that there are two different tRNAs which can transfer same amino acid, because there are two different codes which code for same amino acid. तो जितने कोड उतने एंटीकोडॉन, जितने एंटीकोडॉन उतने tRNA. So there can be more than one tRNAs. The way there are degenerate codons, more than one codons for the given amino acid, there are more than one tRNA for the given amino acid, except the two of the amino acid. Which two have only one tRNA, one cognate tRNA only? कौन से दो अमाइनो एसिड के सिर्फ one cognate tRNAs होते हैं? या मेथियोनाइन एंड ट्रिप्टोफैन, बिकॉज उनके कोड्स भी तो 1 होते हैं. फिर एक important concept for NEET. Now I'm coming to it. Previously I said I'm talking about now I'm talking about it. Let us say that this is the one कैरिंग ल्यूसीन। सो यहां पे कोड होगा, लेट अस से CUU. CUU is the codon on mRNA for the placement of leucine. उसका एंटीकोडॉन क्या होना चाहिए था? हाँ, GAA होना चाहिए था, राइट? अब आपको ये पता है कि CUU के साथ साथ CUA, CUG and CUC, all four are the codons for leucine. Do you know that? तो आपको ये भी पता होना चाहिए कि उसके अगेंस्ट में कौन से 4 होने चाहिए? GAA के एंटीकोडॉन होने चाहिए GAU, GAC एंड GAG। ये 4 क्या होने चाहिए उसके? एंटीकोडॉन। ये 4 उसके क्या थे? कोडॉन्स। ये भी समझ में आता है आपको? Now technically, for each anticodon carrying tRNA, how many types of tRNAs are supposed to be there for this codon and this anticodon matching and complementarity? कितने होने चाहिए ideally? तो how many are likely to be there? Per anticodon 1 tRNA हो तो for these 4 anticodons carrying the tRNA, each one carrying leucine only, how many should be there tRNA types? 4 होने चाहिए। बट सोचोगे उसमें से सिर्फ ये वाला है अवेलेबल, बाकी वाले 3 नहीं है, तो भी क्या फर्क पड़ता है? आप देखो, नंबर 1, नंबर 2 एंड नंबर 3 वेरिएबल इन द genetic codon is which nucleotide? Number 3. Am I right or wrong? वहां पे यूरासिल की जगह पे अगर देखो एडिनिन भी अगर है और सामने ये फर्स्ट 2 न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स का कॉम्प्लीमेंटेशन अगर हो जाता है, तो तीसरा एडिनिन एडिनिन कॉम्प्लीमेंट अगर नहीं भी करते, अगर इन केस इफ दे आर नॉट कॉम्प्लीमेंटिंग, बिकॉज एडिनिन डजंट कॉम्प्लीमेंट विद एडिनिन, so if a third position nucleotide of the codon doesn't complement with the third position anticodon, and yet the amino acid will be placed is which one? ल्यूसीन। इसमें GAU होता तो भी ल्यूसीन होता, या GA है तो भी ल्यूसीन है, GUG है तो भी ल्यूसीन है, GUC तो भी ल्यूसीन। प्लेस तो अल्टीमेटली क्या होने वाला था? विथ और विदाउट कॉम्प्लीमेंटेशन, अल्टीमेटली द सेम अमाइनो एसिड ल्यूसीन। How many get the sense of what I'm trying to explain? तो इसको कहते हैं, इस कंसेप्ट को कहते हैं वॉबल हाइपोथेसिस। As per this hypothesis, it is understood that in most of the degenerate codon arrangements, it is not necessary to match the third nucleotide and complement it between codon and anticodon, because even if it doesn't complement, that given tRNA must be transferring the same amino acid which would have been transported by the other tRNA with the perfectly complemented anticodon present over there. तो जहां पे आपको 4 डिफरेंट टीआरएनए रखने हैं, उसकी जगह पे एक टीआरएनए से भी पॉसिबल है कि कहीं पे CUA हो या CUU हो या CUC हो या CUG हो, उनके सामने कॉम्प्लीमेंट करके ल्यूसीन अरेंज करने वाला एक ही टीआरएनए होगा। यहाँ पे भी चलेगा, यहाँ पे भी चलेगा, यहाँ पे भी चलेगा, यहाँ पे भी। सो यही वाला टीआरएनए हर एक जगह के लिए ल्यूसीन को ला सकता है. इट इज अलाउड. सो यू डोंट नीड 4 different tRNAs with 4 different anticodons for the same amino acid. You need a one tRNA with just one anticodon and one particular amino acid against 4 different codons for the same amino acid. Because the variability is lying in the third nucleotide of the codon, so पहले दो मैच हो गए, that means तीसरा जो भी होगा किसी भी तरीके से उसको ही ल्यूसीन को ही रखना है. इस कंसेप्ट को कहते हैं वॉबल हाइपोथेसिस. This explains the justification why, technically speaking, in any system, there should be 61 different types of tRNA, ideally. But in reality, the number is between 31 to 41 types of tRNA. किसी भी सिस्टम में आपको इतने टाइप्स के tRNA देखने को नहीं मिलेंगे. Why won't you get the 31 to 41 types of tRNA on why do you see the 31 to 40 types of tRNA instead of 61 types, which is the one hypothesis which can justify the occurrence of a lesser number of type wise lesser number of tRNA? Wobble hypothesis. No requirement to complement the third nucleotide of the codon versus anticodon. So first to match हो गए, फिर एक कॉमन तीसरा न्यूक्लियोटाइड कॉमन रहेगा. 4 डिफरेंट टाइप के एंटीकोडॉन की जगह पे एक ही लेके एक ही अमीनो एसिड को आप 4 डिफरेंट कोडॉन के सामने अरेंज कर सकते हो. One amino acid with one anticodon on given cognate tRNA can complement with 4 different codons, degenerate codons of the same amino acid. इसको वॉबल हाइपोथेसिस कहते हैं. आगे जाते हैं. Before we understand the process of translation, the process in which, जैसे from the DNA, when you prepare RNA, that process is identified as which process? Transcription. And from the information of mRNA, when you prepare the chain of amino acids, that one is known as translation. Sequence of nucleotides on mRNA determines the sequence of amino acids in the polypeptide, that is called as translation. Which organelle plays the significant role in translation act? Which is that common organelle found in prokaryotes and eukaryotes that will take the lead role in translation act? Can you tell me that? Yeah, the ribosomes are the ones. The particle-like structures, ribosomes, very important ones. They are the ones which are responsible for translation. So basically, they are the machinery to carry out protein synthesis, which is also known as translation. This translatory machinery, the ribosome, very, very important over there. You see, it is made up of 2 components. One is rRNA and another one is proteins. Do you remember the fact that it's the nucleoprotein stuff, the one in which RNA is there and protein is there? न्यूक्लियोप्रोटीन कंपोनेंट है ये. आरएनए में भी आरआरएनए, रिबोसोमल आरएनए, और प्रोटीन में 80 different types of proteins assemble to make a ribosome. Proportionally, almost 60 to 40 ratio है. Molecular weight of RNA is 60%. Molecular weight of protein participating in ribosome structure is 40%. And do you remember that it has got one small subunit and one large subunit? Do you remember that? एक small subunit होता है और एक large subunit होता है उसमें, which can be assembled by the presence of Mg2 plus ion. You should reply. I don't know what is the reason for not replying. I don't get this thing. Anyways. So do you remember prokaryotic ribosome as a whole? It was of which category? Which unit to measure the sedimentation rate? And what was the value of that? For prokaryote, it was supposed to be S is that unit. Fine. Swedberg unit. और prokaryotic ribosome कितने S की होती थी? आयुषियन हेली गलत, वंदित गलत, तन्वी गलत। 70s कैटेगरी थी वो। और आपको पता है लार्ज सब यूनिट कितने एस का था, स्मॉल सब यूनिट कितने एस का था? हर्षिल देसाई, फेंका फेंकी। प्रिया एंड अदर्स करेक्ट। 50s और 30s। और मैंने बोला था कि मैथमेटिक्स नहीं है कि वहां पे 50-30 मिलके 80s हो जाए, इसका एक लॉजिक एक्सप्लेन किया था मैंने। एंड टेल मी, हैड इट बीन द यूकैरियोटिक वन, यूकैरियोटिक राइबोसोम होता तो ये कितने एस का राइबोसोम होता? हाँ आयुषियन टीम, 60s, 40s, and this would have been 80s. थोड़ा तो पता है by the way. Let's go in further details that within this prokaryotic and eukaryotic ribosomes, what are the further components of it? So first of all, the prokaryotic ribosome, which is 70s type, its two subunits, smaller one 50s and a larger one 50s and smaller one 30s. Further अगर आप देखते हो, so 5s type of rRNA and 23 type S type of rRNA are components of its large subunit. 16s type of rRNA is the component of 16.5 specifically, is the component of 16 only, my mistake. 16s RNA is the component of its small subunit. Similarly, अगर आगे जाते हैं तो यूकैरियोटिक राइबोसोम 80s कैटेगरी, उसके दो जो सब यूनिट है, लार्ज सब यूनिट 60s एंड स्मॉल सब यूनिट 40s का। एंड लुक एट दिस rRNAs, तीन टाइप के rRNAs, 5s rRNA, 5.8 s rRNA, 28 s rRNA are the components of its large subunit, and 18 s rRNA the component of the small subunit. By the way, in any case, if you see along with these rRNAs, obviously proteins are part of this one. So हर एक में प्रोटीन के साथ ये rRNAs होते हैं। बोलिए, किसी को इसमें डाउट है तो मैं फिर से एक्सप्लेन कर दूं। Do you have any doubt? Then I will explain it again. डोबे लोग नो तो लिखो एटलीस्ट, अगर रिपीट नहीं करना है तो। दीक्षा, अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ। कहाँ पे कोई पॉइंट में गड़बड़ हुआ है?
हेलो सर।
हाँ बोलिए।
सर वो मेरा बीच में इंटरनेट कनेक्शन चला गया, तो आपने जो ये समझाया एंड में वो मैं एक बार
हाँ,
वापस रिपीट कर।
basically I said that prokaryotic ribosome 70s type, its small subunit 30s, its large subunit 50s. Its large subunit is made up of proteins plus rRNA, 5s type of rRNA, 23s type of rRNA. Similarly, its a small subunit is made up of proteins and rRNA. rRNA is of 16s category. When I say eukaryotic ribosome, it is 80s category altogether. Individual large subunit 60s, small subunit 40s. 60s subunit, large subunit made up of proteins and three types of rRNA. 5s rRNA, 5.8s rRNA, 28s rRNA. On the other hand, you have a small subunit 40s. उसमें 18s rRNA and proteins are part of it. I go to the next part regarding the detailed structure of the ribosome. आप एक राइबोसोम का अगर स्ट्रक्चर देखते हो तो you realize that this is the small subunit, this is the large subunit. Can you make out that? Two subunits, prokaryotic ribosome. अच्छा, इसमें तीन इंपॉर्टेंट साइट्स होती है विद इन द राइबोसोम. इसको मैं नंबर 1, इसको नंबर 2 और नंबर 3 देता हूं. तो नंबर 1 इज द एग्जिट साइट, number 2 is the peptidyl site, P site in short, and number 3 is A site, that is the amino acyl site. यहां से tRNA molecules carrying the specific amino acids, they will be entering on this side, amino acyl site. फिर आगे जाते हैं नेक्स्ट में P साइट में और E साइट में और यहां से निकल जाते हैं. सी, ये अमाइनो एसिड लेके आया और रख के चला गया और यहाँ पे अमाइनो एसिड्स की चेन प्रिपेयर होती है. So I will explain to you the role of peptidyl site and amino acyl site, but for time being you take it for granted that the tRNAs have to enter into the ribosome from one of the end, which is A site, then they have to shift to the P site and subsequently they have to shift to the A site. Meanwhile, they would be placing their amino acid and the empty tRNA will leave the ribosome from the exit site. So typically there are three sites present on the ribosome surface. Chalo, with the full form. First site on the ribosome, which site? Which is the first site? नहीं, फर्स्ट लेफ्ट में से फर्स्ट साइट कौन सा था? ई साइड, द एग्जिट साइट. फिर सेकंड नंबर का साइट कौन सा था? पी साइट, एग्जैक्टली. और थर्ड नंबर का साइट कौन सा था पेप्टिडिल साइट के बाद? थर्ड A site, the amino acyl site. That's very good. So you have understood the role of ribosome, you have understood the components which make the ribosome, you have also understood the structural features of ribosome. एक चीज जो राइबोसोम के बारे में कहना रह गया वो मैं फिर से यहाँ पे आके रिपीट करता हूँ. ये जो राइबोसोम होता है ये अमाइनो एसिड्स को ज्वाइन करके, अमाइनो एसिड्स के बीच में कौन सा बॉन्ड एस्टेब्लिश होता है? अमाइनो एसिड्स के बीच में सक्सेसिव अमाइनो एसिड्स which make the polypeptide, which bond gets established between them? तन्वी गप्पेबाज एकदम। Peptide bond. Amino acids can be joined by peptide bond in a polypeptide ना। कुछ भी फेंका फेंकी पे उतर आते हो। Anyways, so basically our ribosome is a machinery which is gonna join the amino acids which are brought at it by the tRNAs as per the genetic codes on mRNA. It will join them. It will join them ऐसा, और उनको ज्वाइन करते करते पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड एस्टेब्लिश करते। इन मेकिंग देयर पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड्स पॉसिबल, one of the RNA plays a significant role। जैसे प्रोकैरियोट्स में 23 srRNA and यूकैरियोट में 28 srRNA। इनको राइबोजाइम भी कह सकते हैं। An RNA which is enzymatic in its function. It is the one which is joining the amino acids to establish peptide bonds between them. So it will help in polymerization of amino acid. This rRNA, not only it's the structural constituent of the ribosome large subunit, whether prokaryote or eukaryote, दोनों में एक ऐसा होता है. It also plays the role of enzyme to join the amino acids by establishing peptide bond. तो इसको राइबोजाइम भी कहते हैं। ये वही राइबोजाइम है जो एक्सेप्शनल है, जो आरएनए की स्पेशलिटी है कि इट कैन आल्सो प्ले द रोल ऑफ enzyme, the nucleic acid enzyme, ribozyme. How many of you are clear with this, what I have explained? Now, I gave you the introduction about the role of ribosome, also the constituents of it, RNA and 80 types of proteins, their proportion 60%, 40% based on their molecular weight contribution. Then iron Mg2 plus needed for its 2 subunit assemblage. Then constituents, names of these constituents and their S value. So prokaryotic and eukaryotic ribosome in detail. Then about each ribosome with its 2 or rather 3 sites, which are important sites as the grooves in the 3-dimensional structure of ribosome. E site, P site, A site. What's the role of each one? Further details we will see in our next topic, and that next topic is translation. After the break of 5 minutes, break for 5 minutes. Okay, students, break over. Let's get back to the work. If you have returned, we can start the work. No one is back? Now, understand this process of translation. What we are learning is the process of translation. In simple term, from mRNA, you are preparing mRNA information you are using to prepare polypeptide. Now, let's say that the mRNA is a chain of mRNA is the chain of अरे भाई आई एम आस्किंग टू यू गाइस आपको क्या लगता है मैं अपने से बातें कर रहा हूँ mRNA is a polymer of बोलो चलो polypeptide is a polymer of the a polypeptide is a polymer of amino acids. Polypeptide is a polymer of amino acids. mRNA is a polymer of exactly nucleotides, ribonucleotides specifically. So my point is that the information that is reaching in the on the ribosomes to synthesize the polypeptide, it is in terms of nucleotide sequence. And it is this nucleotide sequence of mRNA works out the sequence of amino acids for the polypeptide. So isn't it the language changed? Nucleotide language utilized to create the language of amino acid means sequence of nucleotides on mRNA determines the sequence of amino acid in the polypeptide. This is what is called as what it is called as translation. That is termed as translation. The central dogma of Malbio, if you remember, very important process, the translation. That's the one we are talking about. Process goes in this manner that first of all, if you have a mRNA, for example, let's say this is the mRNA, this is its 5' end, and this is its 3' end, and here are the nucleotides, the sequence of nucleotides over here. कहीं पे जैसे A U G है, फिर C है, या फिर G जो भी है, एंड कहीं पे U A G है, ऐसा कुछ है. So ये I guess stop point है, ये start point है, इतना use करने वाला है. This is translatable region. Now what happens is that this is the ribosome. This is the ribosome. It will come and join at which end of the mRNA which has arrived here for translation. वो उसके कौन से एंड पे इंसर्ट होता है 5' end पे, and its journey will be towards which prime end over there. 3 prime end. So basically, the basic thing that you need to understand is that a given ribosome is gonna scan the mRNA. It's gonna scan this mRNA from 5 prime to 3 prime direction. Always remember, from 5 prime to 3 prime direction. Always remember this. When it starts doing so, it will not accept all the codes from the 5 prime end until it arrives at the first AUG codon, which is supposed to be the start codon. Okay, तो वहां पे आके खड़ा रह जाएगा उसके सामने. It's gonna stand before this point. यहाँ पे आके राइबोसोम खड़ा रह जाएगा. अच्छा, it will be arranged in a such a way that AUG will be there in a P site. It will be assembled in P site. The first codon, it will be in a P site. And next codon is in the A site. Understood? Hi, Anna. This is initiation process, the one in which this P site, this is A site, this is E site. Now you understand that tRNA molecule which is carrying one particular amino acid. Tell me which amino acid it must be carrying. AUG is the codon for which amino acid? So it must be having methionine. And it should have a which anticodon on it that will complement with the genetic codon AUG for the methionine. UAC. So as soon as this first tRNA with, इसको tRNA नंबर 1 देते हैं क्योंकि उससे पहले कोई भी tRNA यहाँ पे नहीं आ सकता. तो जैसे ही राइबोसोम स्कैन करता है 5 prime to 3 prime and it comes to the AUG codon, it brings the AUG codon in the portion of its P site and waits, and first tRNA, cognate tRNA for methionine, means the one which has got the USC anticodon, will arrive here and will get fixed here. ये यहाँ से direct आता है. तो tell me, the second tRNA which is supposed to be brought in this A site position to complement with this second codon, it should have a which anticodon? First of all tell me, उसका anticodon कौन सा होना चाहिए जिसको second codon CCC के सामने? कौन है यार ये? तन्वियत बहुत गप्पेबाजी कर रही है ये गर्ल. GGG anticodon वाला होना चाहिए. And CCC codon is the codon for which amino acid? Tell me. Which one? So the second amino acid to be brought in is supposed to be the proline. It will come now, the second onwards, जो भी tRNA है वो कहाँ से आएंगे? They will come from A site. So A is the entry site for these amino acyl tRNA molecules. इनको amino acyl tRNA molecules कहते हैं. So let's say that it will come here in this position. and they complement with each other. GGG complements anticodon, complements with the second codon, CCC. And now which bond will be established between this amino acid number 1 and amino acid number 2 with the help of 23S rRNA? Peptide bond. You understand that? Now what happens is that this ribosome will be shifting itself towards 3' end by the distance of one codon, by the distance of how much? So let's say that so now this was supposed to be E site, P site, A site. Do you realize the ribosome has shifted towards 3' end by one codon? तो जहां पे E साइट थी वो आगे आ गई P साइट पे. P site came at A site. Now at this stage, the first tRNA loses contact with its amino acid. So the tRNA number 1, the one with UAC anticodon, the one which was cognate tRNA for methionine, it is in which site? Exit site. It is in which site? Exit site. Soon it will be vacating this place. Soon it will be vacating this place. यहां से निकल गया. And another tRNA is coming in and assembling over here. बोलिए इसका एंटीकोडॉन क्या होना चाहिए? ये वाले tRNA का, थर्ड tRNA का. एग्जैक्टली CCC. इसके पास कौन सा अमाइनो एसिड होना चाहिए? Let's say glycine. I hope you have understood GGG is the codon for glycine. Huh? और यहां पे अगर वापस CCC है तो जो अराइविंग tRNA होगा उसके पास वापस कौन सा एंटीकोडॉन? GGG. वापस कौन सा अमाइनो एसिड? प्रोलीन. Can I call it as a tRNA number 4? Yes or no? So T1 is leaving the exit site. T2 has occupied the peptidyl site where the given amino acid will establish peptide bond with the other amino acid. So it is called peptidyl site. And the third is the A site, amino acyl site, wherein new tRNAs, which are called amino acyl tRNAs, will arrive in and settle in. So it's called A site. So T1 is leaving the ribosome. T2 is in the P side. T3 with its amino acid is in a A side. अच्छा, अमाइनो एसिड नंबर 2 और 3 के बीच में कौन सा बॉन्ड एस्टेब्लिश होगा? एग्जैक्टली, पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड. अब कौन सा बॉन्ड टूट जाएगा? Between that second amino acid and its concerned tRNA bond will be broken. और अब ये पूरा राइबोसोम किस डायरेक्शन में शिफ्ट होगा? टुवर्ड्स विच नंबर? 3 prime. By how much distance? By how much distance? 1 codon. So where will the T2, tRNA2, which is now detached from the proline, will be shifted? It will come into which one? Exactly, E site में आ जाएगा ना. E site आगे जाएगी, वो नहीं आएगा. E site आगे जा रही है. T3 किस में आ जाएगा? T3 with the glycine किस में फिट हो जाएगा? Exactly, P site आ जाएगी वहां पे. और A site वैकेट रहेगी कमिंग. अब अभी A site आगे जाएगी तो वो वैकेट हो जाएगी. और A site में नंबर, कौन से नंबर का कोडॉन आ गया अभी? A site will receive which number codon? 4th. और उसमें कौन सा tRNA आएगा? tRNA नंबर 4. This is how one after the other amino acids will be arranged as per the genetic codes present on the mRNA until the system reaches to the UAG. क्योंकि उसके सामने कोई एंटीकोडॉन नहीं वर्क करेगा, UAC, UAA and UAG के सामने. So the nascent polypeptide and mRNA and ribosomes, all the three will separate. That is the way translation proceeds over there. Do you understand? देखिए, ये आउटगोइंग tRNA, ये इनकमिंग tRNA. अमाइनो एसिड नंबर 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. आप इस tRNA का नंबर बोल सकते हो क्या होगा? एग्जिटिंग tRNA. वो जो एग्जिट कर रहा है वो tRNA कौन सा होगा? Exactly, 7th. Always remember, 1 exiting, 2 in peptidyl, 3 in amino acyl site and 4th is arriving one. अगर ये सीक्वेंस याद रह गया आपको तो मैटर खत्म, क्योंकि जब वो शिफ्ट होगा तो फिर वो 1, 2, 3, 4 एग्जिट पेप्टिडिल एमाइनो एसाइल एंड अराइविंग वन. तो ये जो 4 होता है, अभी राइबोसोम शिफ्ट होगा तो वो बन जाएगा 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 में से एग्जिटिंग, 3 में पेप्टिडिल, 4th में अराइविंग एंड अरे अमाइनो एसाइल टीआरएनए साइट एंड 5th में अराइविंग वन. वो उसके लिए हो जाएगा साइट. जो 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 पेप्टिडिल साइट पे, पी साइट पे टीआरएनए होता है, उसका अमाइनो एसिड सब्सिक्वेंट अमाइनो एसिड ए साइट के अमाइनो एसिड के साथ पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड एस्टैब्लिश करता है, and that is done with the help of 23S rRNA. I repeat, P site tRNA having its amino acid, this amino acid is joining with the amino acid present on the tRNA of A site, and that bond is a peptide bond between these two amino acid, and this is how the polymer shall extend. This amino acids and tRNAs which are coming here, if you see them carefully, first of all, the tRNA which is coming towards the amino acid for taking it up and carrying it up to the ribosome, because जैसे यहाँ पे राइबोसोम है तो यहाँ पे tRNA है, तो यहाँ से अमाइनो एसिड को लेके यहाँ पे आता है. So tRNA transfers the amino acid from cytoplasm to the ribosome. So how does it carry the amino acid from the cytoplasm? पहले वो मैं आपको explain कर देता हूँ. Process तो मैंने explain कर दिया, polymerization of amino acid का, but how is the amino acid been brought over here? That is something which I am explaining to you. So first of all, the amino acid to be transported, let us say methionine for example, which is to be transported. So for that amino acid, it will be okay, मेरे पास डायग्राम है, अभी उसमें से एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ. Let's say that this is the amino acid. Before it is joined with its tRNA, it will be reacting with ATP molecule. The final version of that is called as amino acyl AMP. That is called as amino acyl AMP. Please understand, an amino acid reacting with ATP, joining with it, making amino acyl AMP. दो फॉस्फेट रिलीज हो गए, उसको कहते हैं अमाइनो एसाइल AMP. Now, with this amino acyl AMP, cognate tRNA joins. cognate tRNA, पता है आपको cognate tRNA क्या है? अगर ये अमाइनो एसाइल tRNA में मिथियोनाइन था तो उसका tRNA वो होगा जिसके पास AUG के अगेंस्ट में UAC एंटीकोडॉन है. So that is the cognate tRNA. So that specific cognate tRNA will only be able to join with this amino acyl AMP compound और फिर AMP रिलीज हो जाता है तो amino acyl tRNA बन जाता है. The compound so formed is amino acyl tRNA. तो वो जो साइट था ना अमाइनो एसाइल tRNA साइट, तो उसका नेम इसी से पड़ा कि जो tRNAs आते हैं वहां पे कैरिंग द स्पेसिफिक अमाइनो एसिड आर नॉट सिंपली अमाइनो acids, these are amino acyl tRNA complexes which are heading towards the translation site. This entire process is called as charging process, charging or amino acylation of tRNA. ये जो amino acyl tRNA फॉर्म हुआ, that is called as amino acylation of tRNA, or else इसको कहते हैं charging of tRNA. अमाइनो एसिड को पहले ATP के साथ कंबाइन करो, दो फॉस्फेट निकाल दो, AMP के साथ कंबाइन करो, उस अमाइनो एसाइल AMP के साथ फिर स्पेसिफिक tRNA को कंबाइन करो, AMP रिलीज करके बन जाता है अमाइनो एसाइल tRNA कॉम्प्लेक्स. That particular complex is the one which will be heading towards the site of translation. The process is this whole process is identified as चार्जिंग ऑफ टीआरएनए या फिर कहते हैं अमाइनो एसाइलेशन ऑफ टीआरएनए कहते हैं इस प्रोसेस को। अच्छा, इसमें एक स्पेसिफिक एंजाइम आता है जिसको कहते हैं टीआरएनए सिंथेटेज। दिस एंजाइम इज नोन एज टीआरएनए लिगेज और टीआरएनए सिंथेटेज। जो क्या करता है कि ये जो अमाइनो एसाइल एएमपी है उसको स्पेसिफिक टीआरएनए के साथ ही ज्वाइन करेगा और फिर बनाएगा अमाइनो एसाइल टीआरएनए। This enzyme is called as tRNA synthetase, the one which will identify its particular amino acid and its cognate tRNA and join them each other to make amino acyl tRNA complex. अच्छा, कितने टाइप्स के अमाइनो एसिड्स होते हैं? हाँ, 20 टाइप्स ऑफ अमाइनो एसिड्स, 20 टाइप्स ऑफ अमाइनो एसिड्स। उसके 20 टाइप्स ऑफ tRNA synthetases जो उनको 31 to 41 टाइप्स ऑफ कंसर्न tRNAs के साथ ज्वाइन करते हैं। मींस ल्यूसीन का एक अगर tRNA सिंथेटेज है तो वो चारों टाइप के ल्यूसीन को, चारों टाइप के it will join it with its concerned tRNA, cognate tRNAs which can transfer leucine। जो एक से ज्यादा डीजेनेट कोडोन वाले अमाइनो एसिड है उनके अपने अपने टीआरएनएस के साथ वो पर्टिकुलर अमाइनो एसिड को ज्वाइन कराने वाला एक ही पर्टिकुलर टीआरएनए सिंथेटेज। सो पर अमाइनो एसिड वन टीआरएनए सिंथेटेज लुकिंग आफ्टर इट्स चार्जिंग। उसका जॉब यही है कि एनर्जाइज्ड अमाइनो एसिड को कॉग्नेट टीआरएनए के साथ ज्वाइन कर दो। सो इट आइडेंटिफाइज ऑन वन एंड a particular amino acid on which it is supposed to work, and on the other hand it works upon a specific tRNA, cognate tRNA, with which that amino acid is to be joined. That is called as amino acylation or charging, amino acylation of tRNA or charging of tRNA. Have you all understood this thing, what I have explained to you? हाँ भी नहीं बोलते, ना भी नहीं बोलते डोबे लोग। चलो, इस टीआरएनए का नंबर कौन सा होगा? आउटगोइंग, exiting tRNA. What shall be the number of this? बोलो, this outgoing tRNA should have a which number जो exit side को लीव कर रहा है? Exactly, वो फिफ्थ tRNA है। फिर पेप्टिडिल साइट में जो पेप्टाइड चेन को होल्ड करके रखता है वो tRNA, जो पेप्टिडिल साइट का tRNA होता है, उसका नंबर कौन सा? 6। फिर अमाइनो एसाइल साइट में जो न्यूली अराइव्ड है लेटेस्ट कोडॉन के लिए वो वाला 7th, और वेटिंग में जो है वो वाला नेक्स्ट टीआरएनए, इनकमिंग टीआरएनए ये वाला, एग्जैक्टली वो 8। ओके, So that was about translation. So translation portion is completed. I'll be sending one video to refer, to go through and understand the translation. फिर भी कोई डाउट रहता है तो you can ask questions to me in a next lecture. Till then, goodbye.